The Battle of Kadesh, fought in 1274 before Common Era, though some sources suggest 1275 or 1285 before Common Era, stands as one of the most significant military encounters of the ancient world. It involved the armies of the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II and the Hittite king Muwatalli II near the city of Kadesh, located on the Orontes River in modern-day Syria. This battle is particularly notable for being one of the earliest battles for which we have detailed records, including accounts from both Egyptian and Hittite sources. Moreover, it marked a turning point in the power dynamics of the ancient Near East and led to one of the first known peace treaties in history. Background to the battle. The origins of the Battle of Kadesh lie in the broader geopolitical struggle between the Egyptian and Hittite empires for control over the Levant, a strategically crucial region that connected Egypt, Anatolia, and Mesopotamia. The Hittites, under King Suppiluliuma I, had expanded their influence into northern Syria and seized control of key cities, including Kadesh, from Egyptian vassals during the reign of Pharaoh Akhenaten. Over time, the Hittites consolidated their hold on the region, and Kadesh became a critical outpost for Hittite power in Syria. By the time of Ramses II, Egypt had regained much of its strength following a period of internal turmoil, and the young pharaoh sought to restore Egypt's prestige by reasserting control over its former territories in Canaan and Syria. Kadesh, in particular, was a prize that Ramses II aimed to reclaim as it was both a symbol of Egyptian dominance and a critical point of control over the trade routes between the Levant and Mesopotamia. Muwatalli II, the Hittite king, recognized the strategic importance of Kadesh and understood that a confrontation with Egypt was inevitable. By the time Ramses II ascended to the throne, tensions between the two empires had reached a boiling point, setting the stage for a major clash. The lead-up to the battle. Ramses II began his campaign against the Hittites in the 5th year of his reign. He gathered a massive army, reportedly numbering around 20,000 men, divided into 4 divisions named after Egyptian gods: Amun, Re, Ptah, and Seth. Each division consisted of infantry and chariotry, with the chariots serving as the elite strike force of the Egyptian military. Ramses II personally led the Amun division, which was at the head of the advancing army. As Ramses approached Kadesh, he received reports from 2 captured Bedouins who informed him that Muwatalli and his forces were still far to the north, near Aleppo. Confident in this intelligence, Ramses pressed forward with his army, unaware that the information was a deliberate ruse by Muwatalli, who had actually positioned his forces, numbering around 40,000 men, including 3,500 chariots, just behind the city of Kadesh, waiting for the Egyptians to walk into a trap. The Hittites had prepared meticulously for the encounter. Muwatalli II had not only amassed a large army from his core territories but also brought in contingents from his vassal states, including troops from western Anatolia, northern Syria, and other regions under Hittite control. His forces included a formidable chariot corps, which was to play a critical role in the battle. The battle. The Battle of Kadesh unfolded over 2 days, with the first day marked by a dramatic and nearly disastrous surprise attack on the Egyptian forces. As the Egyptian Amun and Re divisions crossed the Orontes River and advanced toward Kadesh, the Hittite chariotry, hidden behind the city, suddenly launched a devastating assault. The Hittite chariots, heavier and more powerful than their Egyptian counterparts, charged into the Egyptian Re division, catching them off guard and inflicting severe casualties. The surprise attack caused chaos among the Egyptians. The Re division was scattered, and the Amun division, led by Ramses II, found itself dangerously isolated. At this critical moment, Ramses is said to have rallied his troops personally, according to the Egyptian accounts, which emphasize the pharaoh's heroism and divine favor. Ramses supposedly fought valiantly, managing to stem the tide of the Hittite assault until reinforcements arrived in the form of the Niran, a contingent of mercenaries or auxiliary troops from Canaan. The arrival of the Niran helped to stabilize the Egyptian position, and Ramses was able to regroup his forces. Over the course of the next day, the Egyptians mounted a counterattack, forcing the Hittites to withdraw back to their camp behind Kadesh. The battle ended in a stalemate, with both sides claiming victory. Aftermath and consequences. Despite the Egyptian claims of a great victory, the Battle of Kadesh was, in reality, a strategic draw. Neither side could claim a decisive victory, and Kadesh remained under Hittite control after the battle. However, the engagement did have significant long-term consequences for both the Egyptian and Hittite empires. For Ramses II, the battle was a critical moment in his reign, and he sought to immortalize his version of the events through extensive propaganda. The battle scenes were inscribed on the walls of several temples, including the Ramesseum and the temples at Abu Simbel and Karnak. In these inscriptions, Ramses is depicted as a heroic figure who single-handedly turned the tide of battle with the help of the gods. This propaganda helped to bolster Ramses' reputation as a warrior king and reinforce the idea of divine kingship in Egyptian society. From the Hittite perspective, the battle was also significant. Although Muwatalli II had managed to hold Kadesh, the war with Egypt had strained the Hittite Empire's resources and exposed the vulnerabilities of its expansive territory. The Hittite Empire was a loose confederation of vassal states, and maintaining control over these distant regions required significant military and administrative effort. In the years following the battle, both empires continued to vie for influence in the Levant, but neither could achieve a decisive advantage. This prolonged conflict eventually led to the signing of a peace treaty between Ramses II and Hattusili III, the successor of Muwatalli II. The Treaty of Kadesh, signed in the 21st year of Ramses' reign, circa 1259 before Common Era, is one of the earliest known peace treaties in history. It established a formal agreement between Egypt and the Hittite Empire, recognizing their respective spheres of influence and pledging mutual defense in the event of an external threat. The treaty was written in both Egyptian hieroglyphics and Akkadian, the diplomatic language of the time, and was engraved on silver tablets. It represents a significant diplomatic achievement and reflects the realities of the balance of power in the ancient Near East. Neither Egypt nor the Hittite Empire was in a position to decisively defeat the other, and the treaty allowed both to focus on internal stability and external threats. The peace between Egypt and the Hittites lasted for several decades, and there is evidence of diplomatic and cultural exchanges between the two powers during this period. For example, Ramses II married a Hittite princess as part of the alliance, further cementing the ties between the two empires. The legacy of the Battle of Kadesh. The Battle of Kadesh has left a lasting legacy in both history and popular imagination. It is one of the earliest battles for which we have detailed accounts from both sides, offering historians valuable insights into the military tactics, diplomacy, and propaganda of the time. In terms of military history, Kadesh is often studied for its use of chariot warfare, which was a dominant feature of Bronze Age battles. The battle also highlights the complexities of ancient warfare, where intelligence, strategy, and logistics played as crucial a role as the fighting itself. The Hittites' use of deception and the Egyptians' reliance on their chariotry and infantry are key examples of the evolving nature of warfare in this period. Moreover, the Battle of Kadesh and the subsequent peace treaty are significant for their diplomatic implications. The treaty between Egypt and the Hittites is one of the earliest examples of international diplomacy, setting a precedent for future agreements between states. It demonstrates that even in an era defined by warfare and conquest, diplomacy and negotiation were essential tools for managing relations between great powers. In modern times, the Battle of Kadesh has captured the imagination of scholars, artists, and writers. It is often depicted in literature, art, and film as a symbol of the ancient world's complex political landscape and the enduring legacy of its great empires.